Hey YouTube, it's Mike aka Plastic Life, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Jazwares Pokemon Select Suicune. This figure retails for $29.99 Canadian dollars, and I picked it up from my local GameStop. I've been excited for these legendary doggos, so let's crack open this box and take a look at the Suicune. And here is Suicune out of the package, and I really like this figure. I think it looks very much like the in-game sprites or the Pokemon TV show. I like the colors are very nice and bright. The eyes are very centered. I'm very happy with that. So the decal placement is great. There is some paint imperfections on mine, but I can probably take care of that with a brush. But it does look really good, and I'm really happy with this figure. I do find that with these companies, they tend to package their figures in these molded plastics. So when you get to take the figure out, you end up taking some of the top coat off. And that kind of sucks, but if you're kind of crafty, you can spray some top coat on it. This figure is a little bit shiny, so I am going to hit this with a coat of matte spray paint or matte spray top coat to dull down the colors a little bit so that it's not so shiny and it looks a little bit better in photos. You can see my light is just reflecting right off the mane there, but I'll take care of that with a top coat. But yeah, this figure does look really good, and I'm really happy with the way that it came out. And I do find that Jazwares is getting really good at making these Pokemon in the Pokemon Select line, so I'm going to keep collecting it if they keep on putting it out. This is the first of our legendary doggos. I did see the promo images for the Raikou, and I think some people already have the Raikou in hand, so it'd be great to get an addition. And I did see a blurred out image of the Entei, so we're going to get all three of them, so that's fantastic. Well, let's take a look at the articulation and see how this thing moves. Alright, let's get into the articulation for Suicune. So Suicune cannot look up at all because the mane is in the way. This mane is really big and flush to its body, so it can't look up at all. But it can look down, and it looks down quite a bit. And it can also rotate to the side and to the other side there. And it does have articulation in the mouth, which makes me really happy because then it's not just a neutral sculpt with no expression. You can create some expression by opening the mouth, so that's fantastic there. There is a midsection cut here that has rotation, and it also has flexion and extension that way. The legs can come forward this much. The knee bends significantly there and goes basically to straight, and there is ankle or toe hinge on the leg or the foot joint there. The legs can come apart this much and they can move in this much. The back legs, they extend really far and they can come forward this much. There's a joint here, so you can bend the back knee that much and you can bend it forward about that much. There is no rotation. And the back paws, same thing, they bend forward and they come upwards. The tail, or tails, they are a molded plastic, so they are in this shape, kind of stuck in this shape. So they'll just kind of hang on to the side, just like so. It comes with a stand for the tail. It looks like this. You can just port that onto its back, and then you can put the little tails over top, and that will hold the tails in place. So when you're displaying the Suicune, you can leave it like that, and then that way they won't lose their shape over time. If they do, you can probably just heat these up with a hair dryer and then kind of put them back into the place that they're supposed to be. And that's it for articulation, so we'll move on to the accessories. So for the accessories, there's not much going on other than the stand for the tails, and then the basic stand that we get with all of the Pokemon Select figures, or most of the Pokemon Select figures. And this just has a little port that ports right into a hole that's in its chest. And once you port that in there, then it can stand with no issues. It already stands with no issues, but if you wanted to put it in some dynamic poses, you can use the stand to kind of get it upright or, jumping through the air or so on. That's it for accessories, so we'll move on to some size comparisons. All right, let's get into the size comparisons. So we'll move the Suicune over a little bit. And we'll compare them to other figures in the same wave. Series 5, here is the Tyranitar. And the Pokedex has Suicune listed at 2 meters tall and Tyranitar also at 2 meters tall. And Tyranitar is just slightly taller in figure form here, but I think this works out really good. Let's get him out of the way. Here is the Mewtwo. Mewtwo's supposed to be slightly bigger than him, and again, this figure does have trouble standing on its own. But that looks pretty good together too. And the Charizard. That looks pretty good as well. Let's take a look at some older figures. Here is a Typhlosion. I like that as well. Here is a Ivysaur. Nice and tiny there. Get those out of the way. Let's take a look at a different line. Here is the SH Figuarts Blastoise. And we know the SH Figuarts are a little bit small, but I think that still works in scale. Blastoise is supposed to be around 1.6 meters or something like that. And then my favorite, the Figma Pokemon Trainer Red, and that looks awesome as well. So I'm really happy with how these newer Pokemon Select figures are scaling with these Figma Pokemon Trainers or the SH Figuarts Ash Ketchum. I think they look really good together. So, yeah, it looks like really good scale, and I'm pretty happy with it. So final thoughts on the Jazwares Pokemon Select Suicune. Should you buy this figure? Yeah, at $29.99 the price point is great. And if you're already invested in the Pokemon Select line, I think this is a very good addition to the collection. We already know that we're getting the other 2 legendary dogs. Some people already have the Raikou in hand, and we've seen blacked out images of the Entei as well. From a photography standpoint, you can get some dynamic poses out of this guy. And if you have some of the other Pokemon Select figures, you can combine them for some great shots. If you found this review helpful, hit that thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. Head on over to Instagram at plastic.life with a Y to check out some of my photography. And always remember, at the end of the day, this is your collection. Buy whatever makes you happy. I hope to catch you in my next review. Take care.